Hello, this is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. I watched anime. I do that
Oh, you did it.
from time to
Good for
time.
you.
I finished my rewatch of Dress Up Darling,
Oh, very
and
nice.
I watched some more Dan, and I'm considering getting back into Golden Kamuy.
Ooh, yeah. You gotta. What were you on the fourth season?
I was on season 4 whenever I ran into a situation where I was watching it and I couldn't get good subs.
Oh,
Um,
right. Yeah.
but I think I've got a solution for that. So.
Okay. Beautiful. Delightful. Hello, I'm Joey, and I've been doing the opposite. It's been a busy week. Haven't had much chance, so I haven't really watched anything lately.
Well, you watched some kaiji.
I did watch some Kaiji. My
I
sorry. Um, sorry, I got so excited I started coughing. Um, uh,
I think
yes,
I how COVID.
I think I have COVID. So yes, I did see My Beautiful Boy, but that's pretty much all that I've seen recently.
Hmm.
Um,
I am also doing that as part of a rewatch of kaiji because I only watched
I'm
one arc.
holding I'm holding him at gunpoint.
Mhm. Um, do you want some news?
Yeah, let's have some
I've
news.
got a selection of news. I've got two bad newses, so I put
Okay,
in some things being announced that I thought were cool to
we'll
balance
balance
it
that
out.
out a little bit. Yeah. All right, let's
Um,
have it.
First thing is Spider manga.
Oh,
Marvel, Marvel has gone ahead with a Spider-Man manga project.
all right.
It is called Spider-Man Shadow Warrior, and it has the Kingpin in a kimono
Okay.
on the cover, which makes him look like fucking Shimano from Yakuza. It's incredible. Why doesn't he always wear one?
Delightful. We love to see it.
You love to see a barn-shaped man in a white kimono.
Oh, fantastic.
I've seen a few pages from this already, and it looks beautiful. So,
Awesome. Very
uh,
nice.
it looks like a number of spider persons will be contesting with the Kingpin and possibly a Venom.
Okay.
Uh,
So we're like Spider-Verse adjacent, maybe?
yeah, it looks like Gwen and Miles might be there.
Okay.
Um,
Very cool.
uh, okay, bad news.
All right.
I bad news for a certain subsect. Genshin Impact's been hit with a big fine from the government.
Uh-oh.
The FTC,
Aw.
in fact, imposed a $20 million fine on them, which isn't that much in business, but it's significant. Uh,
Oh man. Is it because they did a lot of
it's
gotcha mechanics?
it's because they do gotcha mechanics and they hide the
Yeah.
specifics from children, and it leads to a bunch
Oh.
of cases of them of way overspending.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
get
like its
that.
loot box system, and I'm sure there's a take somewhere of somebody who's just been like, "This is outrageous," but the FTC is like right about this kind of shit.
Sure.
Don't expect
Yeah.
them to continue being right given recent events. Um, but they
I
got
mean,
this
yeah.
one little bit of work done
Sure.
before.
No, I get it. Because like, okay, if you're a responsible adult and you want to gamble a little bit on
Mhm.
your silly little game, that's fine. That's one thing. But yeah, the fact
Th-
that like
they're right that
children are
they're
playing,
like
yeah,
kids are playing it, and the mechanics are being obfuscated even from adults to a certain degree.
yeah.
So not good. Uh,
Well, hopefully they fix that shit.
Even worse. And be
Uh-oh.
glad I didn't include even worse than this because there was a murder. Um, but
Whoa!
I didn't include that one because I thought it was too grim and
That's grim.
only tangentially related to our mission statement. So,
Uh-oh. Well, what's the not quite murder
um,
situation?
Makoto Shinkai has had to make a public statement because it turns out the producer on a couple of his movies is a child predator.
Oh no, why does this keep happening?
Apparently, Koichiro Ito has been arrested uh, for apparently attempting to solicit explicit images from minors and
Oof.
sexual acts with underage girls in exchange for cash.
Oh, yikes.
I will read Shinkai's statement. Uh, I am very shocked to see the news report of the arrest of the person involved in my works. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest sympathy to the victims. I am also very sorry for the anxiety this incident has caused to those who love and support us. I believe the value of the work will not be damaged by this incident, but it is only natural that you may feel distrustful. I am very frustrated and saddened by this. Sounds
Well,
like Makoto did not know that much about this guy.
yeah. Oh, well, that's something at least. Damn.
Uh,
What is, what is this?
um,
What is this known for? What
he
show are
was
we talking about?
well, he was involved in a number of Makoto Shinkai's movies, like Your Name and Suzume
Oh,
and stuff.
oh, I
Yeah, he has a
see.
producer credit on those,
Bummer.
which yeah, kind of does tarnish them to some degree.
Yeah, but like that's, someone who's essentially sort of forking over money for it and
Yeah,
such.
I feel like he doesn't exactly have his hands on the table
Yeah,
during the making of these things, but it's still
it
gross.
sucks. But I mean, it seems like it wasn't something that anyone really knew about. So like, I think
Um,
it's probably stuff that like can still be enjoyed to some degree, at
well,
least.
I mean, we as a culture have to continue liking movies that Harvey Weinstein touched.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
And finally, a new and unexpected Alice in Wonderland anime movie has been announced.
Ooh, neat.
73 years, incidentally, after the Disney film. This one is going to be called Alice in Wonderland Dive in Wonderland.
All right.
Uh, and it stars Nanoka Hara and a child actor named Micah Pug? Pew? I assume that's pronounced like Florence's last name, but uh, she she seemed to be quote super hype about landing
Aw, that's sweet.
and called literally everyone
So it's
she
like a
knows
movie,
she
or did
knows.
you say it was animated? I can't
It's
remember.
it's an animated film.
Oh, it's okay, gotcha.
Um, it looks cool. I kind of wish they had given shown off more of the animation, but it's
Yeah,
very stylish. It has sort of a cutout storybook look.
yeah,
Could be fun.
yeah. I'm here
So,
for it.
uh,
So
you picked for us this time.
I have picked us a show. This week we are going to be watching Flowers of Evil, or was it called The Flower of Evil? I think it's just called Flowers of Evil.
Mm,
Yep, that's what
Flowers of
we're
Evil,
watching. They're
not
evil.
flowers for Algernon.
No, they're evil. Let's go. Let's go see what makes them so evil. All right.
Desperately trying to get out of trying to make a flowers for Algernon
No,
adjacent joke. Okay.
no, we can't.
Hana ga saita yo.
Damn.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit. Those flowers do really be evil, huh?
Uh, the flower bloom that should not have been there.
That should not have been there.
How you fuckers feel about Charles Balder?
Well, I don't have a framed picture of him on my desk, do I? Um,
How you guys feel about the fucking like Second Empire French poets?
uh-huh.
I
Um,
tracked some shit down on this. In
oh
fact, wait a
yeah.
second. I gotta track some more shit down. Just one
Listen,
second.
there's a
Talk.
lot of shit to track down
Hey,
about this.
do you wanna hit the blurb for this
Yeah,
while I
yeah, 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 yeah. Here, I got the blurb up already, in fact. Oh, no, you didn't post it. I already have it though. One sec. Ahem. Takao Kasuga, a high school student fascinated by poetry, reveres Charles Baldaire and even decorates his room with the poet's portrait. On a normal day, Takao forgets his copy of The Flowers of Evil in the classroom. When returning to retrieve it, he steals the sports garments of Nanako Saiki, a model student who Takao calls his muse and a femme fatale. Deeply ashamed of his act, what he sees as a sin and what others see as a crime, Takao realizes with horror that Sawa Nakamura, his classmate and social outcast, knows about his theft. Blackmailed by her, Takao is now forced to partake in Sawa's disturbing fantasies, lest she reveals his deeds to everyone. Caught in a negative spiral of increasingly traumatic experiences, will Takao be able to break free from Sawa's thorns and atone for his sins?
So yeah, some other stuff about this. This was widely considered to be one of the first anime to ever use extensive use of rotoscoping.
Yep.
Uh, it is fucking haunting.
Oh yeah. It's boy,
I th- I thought this might be slow initially, and it is kind of slow in plotting in places,
it's a
but
little slow.
I was willing to forgive it whenever the first bit of music made me noticeably uncomfortable before images had appeared on the screen.
Yes, the music in
because
this goes so fucking hard.
because from the first moment the show goes, there is a low string drone that sets your teeth on edge.
And pretty much all of the music in this is just like that.
Mhm.
Um and they like to a thing that they like to do is they like to cut to like random shots of like just backgrounds
Just the
that are just
outside.
like sort of like decrepit like locations. Like he goes by this same alley a couple of times that's just like overgrown with grasses. All they're beautiful artwork.
It's got the poster of the fat woman and the skinny woman.
He
Uh,
passes some graffiti of like fucking like a Mario ripoff.
yeah, Sponge.
Yeah.
The fourth
Um
Mario brother. There's this horrible like footbridge over this inexplicable concrete chasm that the kids seem
mhm.
to pass over to go to school.
They just go over that all the time.
It's got real like urban decay shit like you would find in
Yes.
like the outskirts of like Tokyo or Yokohama.
Yes,
Like
yes,
shit's
yes.
just like everything is functional, but like it's all worn around the edges.
Everything's functional, but
There's
it's a little
water
nasty.
staining.
Yeah.
You know.
And boy, they go hard on that. But then for the actual characters, we've already talked about the rotoscoping, but like the fact that they're rotoscoped in a very sort of extremely simple style.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like if they're like more than like say 10 feet away from the camera, they just pretty much don't have a face.
Yeah, there's
They
some
just don't draw one
Slender
on
Man
there
ass motherfuckers in the background.
very often. But like
There
it
was
kind they make it work.
there was a scene with the girls playing volleyball and the coach
Mhm.
could be seen like between them in the background and I was just like, ah, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Um so we should get a rundown of this.
Let's
It's
have a rundown.
basically do you know that meme where it's just like girls call an Uber to go home from the bar,
Yes,
boys gif of James
boys.
Sunderland
Yeah,
wandering through the
with
misty
the Silent
forest?
Hill music playing. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, isn't
This
it?
is how our main character traverses from and back from school every day.
Yeah.
It is so lonely.
You know what? I want to believe that he can hear the low droning music,
He can hear
actually.
the
He
drone.
can hear that.
It's the sound of him about to fucking snap.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, and everything is very realistic. The way these kids actually act, kids in anime often don't act like teenagers.
Mhm.
This is simple. They don't act like people, in fact. Uh, everybody in this is very real, to the point where you're
Yes.
lightly disgusted with the boys,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because that's
because
kind
teenage
of
boys
just
are
how they
like
are.
that. They're sweaty little freaks.
Nasty little dudes.
um, it's fine. You just have to you have to go through that to become a person.
Yeah,
Um,
kinda.
but yeah. So we've got our guy's Kasuga, right? I'm
Kasuga,
not
yeah.
I'm not
Or
looking at it right
Takao, I
now.
think they're
Actually.
calling him.
Takao. We'll go with
Yeah.
Takao. Takao and his buddies Yamada and the guy with the big teeth.
Oh God.
He looks like a
um,
horse. Um, I don't think the simplification did him any favors. Um,
I think his name is Kojima Ken.
Kojima, but
Kojima, something like that.
but yeah, they're a unit at school basically,
Mm-hmm.
and these first few scenes are basically them going into school and just sort of jostling each other, and they're just like, "Why'd you play games, man?" And he's just like, "I just can't really get into them."
He's
It's
just,
like,
I'm not a
don't act
gamer.
cool. Um, and yeah, they have some classes where they actually do stuff in class.
They're in English class,
They're in an
actually.
English class, and one of them fucks up saying Bangkok, and the teacher like chides them for that. I'm just like, Bangkok isn't English. Don't be a bitch to him.
Yeah, I think the teacher's just like, you need to practice more. Next.
It's just like Bangkok is a Thai word. Don't be like
Yeah.
that. And then we get one of our many scenes with Saiki,
Uh,
or is she a Nanako? There's one of
Nanako.
the
Yeah, she
yeah.
is.
There's Nanako, and then there's
Nanako.
Nakamura.
Yeah,
Um,
Nakamura is the scary girl.
Nakamura
Um,
is scary.
she's actually scary. We'll get to her, but
Um,
yeah, Nanako is the one that
she's
our main
scary in a
character has
way.
a kind of crush on.
She's scary in a way that makes this immediately interesting.
Yes.
um, so Saiki, Nanako Saiki, stands up and she does her thing perfectly. She's just talking about the Chinese New Year. Actually, specifically, she's reading about like from an expert or somebody talking about like the Southeast Asian New Year. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, and yeah, we catch Takao watching her because Takao will be watching her a lot in
Mm-hmm.
the way of teenage boys who have like fucked up feelings about people.
Yeah.
um, she also like locks eyes with him several different
Yeah,
times.
whenever she glances over and like catches him, her mouth, like her face changes a little bit, like she's noticing, and he like looks away,
He looks away in a normal way,
and he
but she
does a
doesn't.
little grin.
She doesn't look at him harshly. In fact, she's usually
No.
smiling whenever she
Yeah.
catches his eye. Um, God, it's hard to talk about the distinct scenes here because yeah, we blow through some scenes at school and then
Yeah, like
they
there's a
start to go
scene where
home.
they're all pissing at urinals.
Yeah, they're all
It's like,
pissing.
all right.
They're just like, holy shit, did you see? Like they're talking about girls. One of the
Yeah.
guys is just like, if they ain't a little thick, they aren't even thighs. And the other guys are like, what are they then? Thins? This guy is doing like fucking Three Stooges
He's
ass
doing
bits.
bits.
Um, um, this dumb motherfucker. I immediately like disliked both of his friends, and I think that's intentional.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so. Like they're his friends, but they're all like a little shitty.
they're
And
all kind of dirtbags.
like he's friends with them, but I get the feeling that he like doesn't like them that much.
Friends
I
of
don't know.
convenience with them.
Yeah.
Um, but
But anyhow,
yeah, they sit there, they watch the girls play volleyball because they that's their PE,
they're
I guess.
looking at thighs, you know.
Um, they're talking about girls in the John, and they're just like, "Hey, did you see that guy's sweats? Where did he buy those? That color is out there." Like all these kids are really bitchy.
Uh-huh.
Actually, even the girls, whenever you hear them talking.
Mhm.
Um, but we catch them going home. And they had talked about like a manga earlier and about how Yamada always gets like fucking potato chips and manga whenever you lend them to him.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and they all decide to go over to one of the guys' houses. I don't remember which because he has volume 8 of whatever the fuck they're reading. Um, and Takao is just like, actually, I'm gonna go by the bookstore today. And they're just like, oh, okay, well, read something other than fat material. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you motherfuckers have no idea what this kid is reading. This kid is reading shit that will turn him into a domestic terrorist. um,
Uh-huh.
so,
Oh.
so yeah, he goes to the bookstore. He goes to an old bookstore off the side, and it immediately gave me like a weird feeling of like lost to see like a tiny bookstore you could actually
Mhm.
browse.
Yeah.
Just like things that don't exist here.
I know.
Um, But yeah, he's hanging out, and clearly hanging out for like an hour because it's dark when he gets home. Um, and yeah, he comes in and he talks to his father, who I swear to God looks like Shigeru Miyamoto. Uh, and they have some light conversation about dinner. And
Yeah.
also he asks him if he has Bretton's The Key to the Fields. Uh, and I'm just like, wait, fucking Andre Breton? And then I had to like look up not just that, but I had to look up like two separate things because the more famous thing is the fucking Magritte painting that Andre Breton is talking about in that
Uh-huh.
essay. And I'm just like, why am I 3 layers deep on this?
This is the type of show that will make you do like 10 Wikipedia binges per episode. I'm pretty sure.
It's just like
Um
it's like I was already familiar with Andre Breton, but I don't know about his fucking articles and shit. Why is this kid reading them? Why are you reading about French surrealists from the 40s?
that's his it's his interest. Come on.
His special
He's a little
interest is
guy.
obscure French literature.
It's all he's got in this world.
Um, and then we see we things start to get creepy
Mhm.
because yeah, he's reading, and also he had an episode like this at school where he was reading an excerpt from Baudelaire's poems. I'm probably mangling that too. I clicked on the
Eh.
pronunciation in French, and I didn't want to go full French on it. Baudelaire. It's
Okay, I'm so
Baudelaire.
sorry. I apologize deeply to the French.
If we want to
So
be serious, it's like Charles Baudelaire,
yeah, something like
which
that.
sounds like garbage coming out of my mouth. And it's probably close to accurate too. So I don't even want to keep trying. I'm just going to say
No,
it the way an
let's
American
leave
would
it at
say it. All
that.
right.
But
But
yeah, he astral projects. He
yeah,
dissociates.
yeah,
He
he
just kind
fully
of
dissociates, and we get into like some of the stuff they're going to do with the artistry here, which is
mhm.
as he starts receding, people just leave the scene.
Yeah.
So it's just him sitting in that room, and then the room is gone. He is just in the sky in his
Yeah, he's
desk,
like in a desk and there's just like a beautiful sky background all around him.
and then he gets snapped back to reality.
Yeah. And then this happens later. He's in his room.
It,
He gets
he's reading. I believe he is reading The Flowers of Evil, which, by the way, if you want to know about Fleur de Mal, that
ah,
is the pamphlet that contains almost all of Baldaire's poetry.
okay.
It is a dense symbolist tome.
Uh-huh. And
Um,
he actually reads out some of the poems and they're like very haunting.
mhm. uh, this was written published in 1857.
Mhm.
Important in the modernist movement and shit. Uh, Basically, from what I read some Sparks notes on this. I'm not as up on poetry as I should be,
Mhm.
but basically, a lot of this stuff is about like the destruction of the beauty of Paris from
Wow.
industrialization and uh, like eroticism and being
Mhm.
disgusted with evil and yourself for being
Wow.
evil, and
Wow. Maybe this show has some themes.
maybe it
Hashtag
has some
themes.
themes, perhaps. Um, but as he's reading, we see the flower for the first time, and you couldn't even identify it as such to begin with. You only get that later when you see the cover of the book.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
the first time you see it, you see like what looks like a bunch of tiny little tendrils swirling
it's this
around kind of at the corner of the screen.
it's this hairy like orb. It's this creature.
Mhm.
um, but before it can fully sort of take over, before it can bloom, as it were,
Mhm.
his mom calls him to the bath. He's just like, "Go take your bath."
It's like, "All
He's just like,
right."
ah.
Ugh.
uh, the next day, the next day plays out very similarly to the first day. He has this horrible meander to school.
Mhm. In fact, I think that they have a couple of the exact same shots in there. Like
Hmm.
the like locations, they go past that one same overgrown alleyway. There's
Hmm.
like a rusty old sign that he passes.
It establishes a pretty good sense of
Mhm.
familiarity with like the environment.
Yeah,
Um,
sort of almost like monotony even.
but well, yeah, that's what your walk to school
Yeah,
is like in a little town outside
exactly.
of Yokohama or whatever. Um, and uh, and yeah, it's a normal day at school. He's there with Team Jerk Squad. Um,
Hashtag these assholes again.
these assholes, the Boner Brothers. And they're feeling kind of bad about their math test.
They're just like, oh, how do you think you did on the math test? Oh, bad.
Um,
Stop asking.
and yeah, do they have the little spat over the book first
Uh, I think that
before the shit
happens.
happens or after?
Uh, you know, it happens sort of in the middle of the tests being handed out
Yeah,
because
okay.
he gets his test back and the other
Yeah,
guy's
yeah,
just
that's
like,
when.
"What did you get?" You
Yeah,
know,
what'd you get?
that
That's
sort
how
of.
it is. Yeah, because he goes up and gets his math test, and his math test is like a 52, and the guy is just like, work a little harder next time.
Yeah.
Uh, love a teacher that'll call you out in front of all your fucking
Yeah, this teacher
um
sucks actually.
I went through the American public education system, and there are problems with that, especially in Texas.
Uh-huh.
But I never once had a teacher publicly call me out while
Uh-uh.
receiving my homework or
Yeah.
graded test. They always
Yeah.
just handed it to me silently, like a
Yeah, they put it
normal
on
person.
they put it on your desk upside down and you're
sometimes
just
they
like,
put,
"Oh man."
sometimes you get yours upside down
Uh-huh.
because
Sometimes you get it upside down.
there is some like level of understanding that you are
Uh-huh.
going through some shit as a teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
And that you shouldn't publicly embarrass kids so they don't go
Uh-huh.
insane.
Yep. That's not what this teacher does.
they
This
they
this
do
one's
not
bad.
apparently believe in that in
Mhm.
certain parts of the Japanese
Yeah.
education system. Um,
So yeah, it's him. I mean, it's a bunch of students, then it's him. Then we're
uh,
going to have the little spat.
yeah. So he gets his, and his buddy Amada's just like, "What you good?" And he's just like, "I'm not telling." And he's just like, "Well, what are you reading here?" And he snatches out the book, The Flowers of Evil. And it's got this horrible. It's got the horrible flower on the
Yeah,
cover.
it's like a shitty little like thistle sort
Yeah,
of plant.
it's a black thistle with an eye,
Mhm. Yes.
with a waking eye in it. It
Yes.
reminds me almost of the little freak in the bottle from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes,
Um,
actually. I actually thought the exact same. It's got that one exact same sort of eye shape.
it wouldn't have come to me if it didn't fucking move later. Um,
Yeah, it's really bad to see.
um, so yeah, they struggle over it like teenage boys. He's just like put that down. It's like you wouldn't even get it, and the guy's just like, oh, I wouldn't get it. I'm dumb. All right. And it's like, yeah, you're dumb, but he shouldn't have said that to you.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, what do you know about all there? It's just like nobody knows about this shit but you little freak. But they're interrupted. They're interrupted because some things happen. So
Mhm.
Nanako gets her test back. And Nanako has the best marks in class. She has a 98.
Yep. He's like, everyone, she did really good. Learn from
Mhm.
her example. Or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Again, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Are you doing like some sort of social Darwinism experiment? What the fuck's
Yeah,
wrong
I
with
don't
you?
know. He's just a shitty teacher.
And he takes that and he gets put in his place
This scene is
because
really funny, actually, in
this
the
scene
most
is
scary way
it's
possible.
crazy because yeah, they admire her for a second, and
Hmm.
he looks at her and she catches his eye again. Uh,
And he looks away
and
and
then
he's
you
very,
see
he's,
the girl
yeah.
behind him stands up to go get hers, and she doesn't say anything. Every time he's called somebody up to say something, they say hi,
Yep.
hi, yes.
Hmm.
It's translated as coming, but it just means
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, she gets up it's completely silently and goes to get her paper, and he says, "Hey, answer when you're called."
She's like,
This
okay.
like old discipline shit. Um,
Hmm.
and he he uh he he just says zero again, and he's just like hitting her on top of the head with it lightly. It's like Nakamura last in place once again with a zero.
You didn't
It's just
even
like,
write anything
you
down.
didn't
What are
even
you
write any.
doing?
What do you even do? And she cuts him off. She's just like, shut it, you piece of shit. And the background music cuts out. There's no
Everyone in class fucking freezes
there's
even.
no there's no drone here. And he sets it down on the podium, and you can see his fingers are just like working because he like crunches it up a little.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, are you telling your teacher that he's a piece of shit? And he almost draws back to slap her, but he locks eyes with her, and she is completely stoic.
He's
She's
giving him the
daring
most
him to hit
crazed
her.
look that I've seen in an anime character in a long time. Like I was getting intimidated through the screen.
It's it's cold. It doesn't feel crazed to me. It just feels cold. She is daring him to hit her.
Uh-huh.
And there's just 3 beats of silence before he just says, "Go sit down."
Yeah. Intimidation check
Come
successful.
to the staff room after class. And we just cut out of the scene at that
Mhm.
point. We just cut out of the scene to the boys walking home, and they're just like, "Holy shit!" Like, Nakamura is crazy.
Nakamura is crazy.
It's just
What
like,
the
man,
hell?
I wouldn't go out with her if she was the last girl in the world. Taco's just like, nobody. What about yourself? Nobody wants to go out with you. And he's just like, well, you're the same as me. And he's just like, no, I'm not. I read
I
books.
read books. I actually physically wrote that line down. I read books because it made me laugh.
I do be reading books. Speaking of their conversations, by the way, I meant to mention something else because they were talking about genres they like to read manga in.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I kind of want to show you something
Okay.
because they were talking about horror and comedy and how it both stems from surprise. And they're just like,
Yeah.
you read that in a book, didn't you? And he's just like, it's common sense. Just like yeah, some horrors do have comedy in them, like Captain Supermarket. Do you know what Captain Supermarket is?
No.
Captain Supermarket, though? Because they translated in the subs as Army of Darkness, but it was
Oh.
released over there as Captain Supermarket.
Oh, all
And
right.
this is the poster, and it's fucking crazy.
Hold on.
They have taken
Oh,
they took the
what the
matte
hell?
painting. They took the Frazetta as painting from Army of Darkness, and then they cut out Ash, and then they slapped it into like this surreal like pop
He's
art
like
canvas
surrounded by like
soup.
soup cans and like
They all say
it's very
Bruce Campbell,
colorful.
like this.
This is wild as hell. He's got a little thought bubble that says "Give me some sugar, baby" in English.
It's
There's like a bag of groceries. This is fucking wild.
it's fucking crazy. The plot point of Ash from Evil Dead working at a supermarket is not that important. This is one of my new favorite movie
It's
posters.
just another rabbit hole that we've gone down for this
Yeah,
episode.
I thought I remembered it being released as Captain Supermarket, and then I found the poster, and I was just like, "Oh my
You're like,
fucking god!"
whoa, amazing.
But yeah, we have to keep talking about the scary anime.
Yes, we do.
I went out and told I went out in the living room after this, and I just said I think I've seen the scariest TV anime that I've ever seen. Um,
Oh man.
so yeah, they're walking home and they're talking about her, and it's just like, well, you're the same as me. They're like, no, I read books.
I
And the
read
third
books.
guy is just like, you know who I want to go out with? I want to go out with Nanako Saiki. It's just like, yeah, she's really good. I hear she's like a jungle down there. And Takeo freaks out. He's just like, what
It's
is
like,
fucking
what's
wrong with you?
And they're just like, oh, Tago's got a crush on Nanko.
Um,
Whatever the hell.
on
It's like,
Nanako.
no,
He's just like, no, I
no.
forgot my book. I forgot my book at school. I'm gonna go get it. And he's just like, oh yeah, you're running away. And
Uh-huh.
you guys were underselling this scene because all of the guys in this scene are not in this scene. They are in a mirror
Yeah, they're framed in
on
a
the side
mirror.
of a car. They're in a car mirror.
You're just like seeing
reflected
them
from the middle of
reflected.
the street.
It's fascinating.
Shots.
It's good. I like it.
Um, and yeah, he runs off because he did forget his book actually, and he does go back. Uh, and we reached the part where I decided that I was frightened because yeah, he's going back, and he's just standing there with Charles Baldaird's The Flowers of Evil in his hand, in a quiet classroom with a low drone, and then something falls to the floor behind him, just with a loud smack. And he turns and he looks, and we
A
return
lot
to
of
the
things happen in
we
this moment.
we return to the flower. The flower is moving now. It's moving upright. The eye is opening.
The eye is opening. It is wiggling free.
The on the floor is Nanako Saiki's swimsuit, and
Mhm.
we get a close cut in on his face as he realizes what it is.
And his
Uh,
eye like sparkles almost. I can't even describe it that way. It's like his
his
eye
eyes
dilates.
widen.
Yeah.
And then the incredible outro music comes in and scares the living shit out of me.
This
Uh,
outro song, I haven't heard an outro song that goes this hard. Like it's giving a similar energy to how I felt when I heard the intro to Higurashi for the first time.
it's giving me this. It's
Little
giving me a
scarier.
similar. It's giving me the same feeling as I did whenever I heard Mortis the first time.
Mortis.
Because yeah, this horrible computer generated Japanese voice just starts up with Hana ga saita yo, which is the flower blooms. The flower bloomed and bloomed.
Yeah. And it's
uh,
like offbeat too. It's like not in really a way that kind of
it's
sounds like a song, but it
it's
kind of is.
and then they make the song out of it.
Yes. It's really good.
It sends chills up my fucking spine.
I really like it.
Because yeah, that's where the episode ends. Because yeah, you can kind of infer maybe what's going to happen with him, even if you hadn't read the blurb earlier.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, plus
he's gonna be
if
a
you
freak about it.
he's going to be a freak about it. They also if you listen all the way through the credits, they have like a you know what happens on the next episode sort of thing,
Mhm,
and it's just voices, you know, it's
mhm.
just like how could this happen? You know, someone's like I saw
There's
you
a
and he's
pervert among us.
yeah, stuff like that and you're just like, "Uh-huh. Yep. We're seeing where this is
It's just
going."
like his fucking mixed up teenage boy feelings have led him to
Yeah.
do a crime,
Uh-huh.
to do some freak shit,
Mhm.
which is not necessarily unforgivable, but you've gotta not
Yeah.
do that kind of shit.
Well, it's not unforgivable, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things where it's, you know, one little thing and then it
Gonna
gets
get him
worse and
into
worse as
worse
it
and
snowballs,
it's gonna get
you
him into
know.
worse and worse shit.
The
That's
longer that you go without like fessing up, the worse it, you know, it's
the
one of
longer
those.
that you go without fessing up or fucking burning it.
Or yeah. You're like you
Uh,
can't prove shit.
just like I have learned my lesson to not be a psycho.
And then
I
we get
I have to perform some kind of penance now. Um,
also at the very end of this,
oh
we get
yeah,
a
I love this sort of author relationship with viewer.
uh-huh. There is a shitty little drawing of the manga author, and it says a caption that just says, "Be sure to tune in next week, you pieces of shit."
You piece of fucking garbage.
Oh man.
Oh man, you want to see this fucked up shit? You have to
Uh,
tweets.
yep.
So
So
you
yeah,
so yeah, how do we feel about this one?
I they not only do I think that this was a very good like first episode because like the where they ended it was like the perfect like cliffhanger that really leaves you intrigued and wanting to like I will say right
Mhm.
now I want to watch more now. That's how intrigued it got me. But
I I will say this: the vibes are poisonous. I
if vibes are
am
poisonous, I'm here for it. I need to
I am
know.
struggling for fucking air.
This is is actually one of the more hostile animes we've ever watched,
Yes.
I think.
I was attacked.
Yes. I really liked it. I thought that it did a really good job setting things up. I liked the way it looked. The music, fucking fucking spot on. A
Mhm.
plus. Only 13 episodes. That's not bad.
Mhm. Whack ass intro.
Whack-ass intro.
Complete dog shit.
Yeah, why did they do that? It was
I
just
don't
like
know.
no animation. It was just like a screen with the lyrics, and it was like completely different music that was
Mhm.
not fitting to the tone. We can pretend that the intro didn't exist. Like let's just block that out of our minds. Um I actually picked this for a specific reason.
Oh yeah.
And I'm curious to know if you recognized the author at all.
Is that hang on a second. Let me look at the image again. Um I've gone to the wrong Discord. I'm a fool.
Maybe
Oshime Shuzo. No,
because
I don't recognize him actually. He
uh,
what's
there's
he done?
there's something else that he wrote that was discussed on Super Eye Patch Wolf.
Oh yeah.
The video was called "The Manga That Breaks People."
Oh, okay. Uh,
That's where I actually learned about this one.
I
He
may have
wrote
forgotten that one.
it was called he also wrote a manga called Blood on the Tracks or A Trail of Blood.
Mm.
It's the one where it's like there's a mom and her family hiking in the woods, and she just throws a kid off a cliff at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah, she throws a kid off a cliff. It's coming back to me.
That's that author. He also did this one.
Oh, good.
So that's the kind of energy
Yeah.
that we're gonna be
If you want
receiving from Flowers of Evil.
if you really want what's probably my most powerful, like, endorsement of this is I'm probably gonna recommend it to my friend who hates anime.
Oh
You know that
yeah,
friend.
I know that friend.
And I think it
Yeah,
would psychologically damage him, which is the kind of thing he wants. So
that's true.
so yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the rest of this.
Yep. A plus. Glad we watched it. No notes. I'm so
Um,
scared.
yeah. If you want to be extremely unsettled, you can order that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. We are also on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter, I guess.
Mhm.
We are at One Episode Cast, and come talk to us about horror. I guess. Come talk to us about
Come talk to me about Tetsuo the Iron Man.
scary things. Yes, come talk to us about Tatsuo the Iron Man specifically.
That's the that's the closest I felt
That's
to this actually. I do look for this whenever I look into Japanese media. That's why I've been interested in reading like the work of like Edagoro Rampo and shit.
yeah.
I don't know. This one blindsided me. This is probably the scariest shit we've ever seen on the podcast, including the Halloween episodes. Maybe accepting Perfect Blue, but
Oh, that's true. Fair enough.
but uh
Um,
but yeah, no jokes for this one. It's just time to leave.
we gotta get out of here.